Hey, it's Katie, and today I'm going to be answering your questions. Alright, so first question from Cass Carew? I hope I said that right. Are you going to PAX Prime? I'm really bummed because this year I am not going to PAX Prime. I got to go to PAX last year and I just had the best time, so I am a little bummed that I am not going this year. Next question from Jordan Goodridge. Hey Katie, do you have a guilty pleasure movie or TV show that you cannot help but love? I kind of have a lot of guilty pleasure TV shows, mostly being reality TV shows. I watch like Dance Moms and I watch the Locked Up shows and I like pretty much all the crime reality shows as well as cooking reality shows, and of course I said Dance Moms. That's a huge guilty pleasure. I just watch a lot of TV and I watch a lot of reality TV. So I'm gonna have to say that as far as guilty pleasure shows, definitely reality TV. Guilty pleasure movies. That one's a little trickier. Well, I do have a few movies that aren't like my very favorite, but I would still watch them if they're on TV or something. National Treasure. I love that movie. I don't really know if that's a guilty pleasure. I also really like the King Arthur movie with Keira Knightley. But it's not like one of my favorites. But if it's on, I'll watch it. Yeah, I don't really know if these are guilty pleasure movies. Because I don't feel guilty watching them. I just like them, so I watch them. Antonio Perez asked, favorite shoe brand? I don't really shop by brand when it comes to shoes, but right now my very favorite shoe brand is Vans because they make awesome Nintendo shoes, which I'm wearing right now. I love the Nintendo shoes. They are just so awesome. I'm probably gonna buy another pair because I love these. Michael Wilson asked, if you could bring back any canceled TV series, which one would you choose? I'd pick either Firefly or Pushing Daisies. Firefly would be a great one to bring back because it definitely didn't get the run it deserved. I've said this before and I'm gonna stick with it. Chuck deserves to come back, okay? Chuck got canceled too soon. I love Chuck, and that one definitely should come back. I really liked the first season of Witches of East End, and then they got canceled after their second season, so I was a little bit bummed that they got canceled, but their second season did get a little weird, and it wasn't as great as the first season, but I just feel like they didn't have enough time to correct their mistakes. If they were given to season 3, they probably could have been like, alright, well what we did in season 2 obviously didn't work, but season 1 people really liked. So I kind of miss that show. That show would be awesome if it came back. Next question from Renan Yamaguchi. Which Pokemon was the hardest to catch for you in Pokemon Go? Oh, that's just a mean question because I had a run-in with a Pokemon and I didn't catch it. So I'm gonna go with that, and it was a Charizard. And I was mostly mad because I was at Disneyland, okay? And Disneyland is a mecca for catching Pokemon, and every time I go, that's pretty much all I do is while I'm waiting in lines, if my service is working properly or the app doesn't crash 1,000 times or give me an error, I try to catch Pokemon. And I was so mad because I had parked and I was waiting for the tram into Disneyland, and I had been standing there for probably 20 minutes waiting for the tram with my friend, and there were no Pokemon around. Like I caught a Pidgey and a Rattata, you know, the huge. And finally, after like waiting for 20 minutes, I board the tram and we're waiting to go basically, and a Charizard appears. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I almost hopped off of the tram, but I was all the way on the right side and there was already like people next to us. So it's not like I could have just hopped off, but we hadn't left yet. So I was like, okay, I'm praying that they take their time, I'm gonna catch this Charizard, and I was trying and trying, and then I got an error message, the app crashed, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, we still haven't left yet, it'll still be there. I open up the app, the Charizard's still there. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. I try and I try again, the app crashes again, I get error message. I open it for a third time, and I finally am attempting to catch this Charizard for real without any issues, and of course it just, you know, doesn't want me to capture it. I'm giving it like a million raspberries and throwing all the mega super balls whatever at it, and it just kept popping out. And then if you play Pokemon Go, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but when a Pokemon is in the Pokeball, the Pokeball will shake, it'll like kind of move side to side, and on the third one you get the little stars and it goes like, congrats, you caught this Pokemon. So it moved 3 times, I got the stars, like, you did it, and then the app crashed, I got an error message, it completely kicked me out. Meanwhile, we're on the tram already going into Disneyland, and I'm panicking because I'm like, I caught it, I totally caught it, and it's gotta be there, and I open up the app, and guess what? one, Charizard's gone, nowhere to be found, and two, I didn't catch him. And as you can see, I am still very salty about it because I should have caught that Charizard. It had nothing to do with skill or what level I was or what kind of Pokeballs I had. It really didn't, because this Charizard wasn't a very good Charizard, but I still wanted to catch him. And I was just so mad that the stupid app gave me error messages and crashed. It kind of like ruined my whole day. I was so mad the rest of the day, and I was like, that Charizard's just never gonna pop up again, and that was my one shot. But no, I will definitely catch a Charizard again. So I know that didn't really answer your question, because it wasn't the hardest Pokemon to catch because I didn't even catch it. Technically I did catch it, but then it wasn't there. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with Charizard because I'm still really mad about it. Alright, next question from Dan Stonefish. What are your favorite summer movies this year so far? Gosh, this was such a weird summer of movies. If Captain America Civil War counts, definitely that's up there as one of my favorites. The Jungle Book, that's not summer, that came out in like March, but The Jungle Book and Captain America are some of my favorite movies of the year so far. I enjoyed Ghostbusters, I enjoyed Suicide Squad, I really liked Finding Dory, so I don't really have favorites from the summer. Maybe at the end of the year I'll do just like my favorite movies of the year, but it was kind of a weird summer. There wasn't that standout movie that was like the best movie of summer, for me at least, but I think like Deadpool and Captain America and The Jungle Book are probably my favorite movies of the year so far. Well guys, thank you so much for your questions. I absolutely love answering them. And I want to know from you guys which Pokemon in Pokemon Go was the hardest for you to catch. And do you have a funny story to go along with it? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.